Hey guys, it's Annabelle. So I'm so very excited to do this video. I'm going to be taking you along on my journey this time around as we try to conceive baby number 4. I am so very excited. If you watched our 2016 family and my personal goals video, you know that we have had lots of discussions in the last year about whether or not to try for a baby number 4 this year. And with all of the discussions and kind of looking at long-term goals and short-term goals, we have decided to try for a baby number 4 this year. So just for our family personally, we want ideally to have our kids about 2 years apart. Our first daughter and our son are 25 months apart, and our son and our second daughter were 19 months apart. And we have had a wide variety of experiences with trying to conceive. We have been either trying to conceive or pregnant or thinking about trying to conceive all in the last 8 years. And so I wanted to share this video with you guys of how we kind of start the process and start thinking about it. So just for a little like past history, when we first got married, we knew that we wanted to have kids right away. That was the plan. And before we got married, we had been talking about it and all of that. And so when we got married, we knew we wanted to have kids right away. Well, we tried for 2 years, and we did have a loss in there that was very difficult. It was very trying on our relationship, and the whole idea that some people just get pregnant right away was a foreign concept to us at the time. And with our loss, it was very difficult. And when we actually did finally have a full pregnancy with our first daughter, it was difficult to be happy and excited because we had that initial loss. So we went through that, and then with my son, we did end up getting pregnant on the second month of trying, so that was awesome. And then with our second daughter, Miss B, she was a surprise. Now, we track ovulation and all of that, and my cycle changed the month that we ended up conceiving our second daughter. So she was about 6 months before we had planned to start trying to conceive. I was tracking my ovulation at the time, and it was a busy month that month, and my cycle changed and we ended up conceiving. And so I say she was our surprise. She was planned. It was planned to have a baby number 3, but she was a surprise. So baby number 4 is again being planned, and we are hoping and praying that we do not have difficulty with trying to conceive this time around. So I wanted to share our process with you guys here. So I've been tracking my ovulation for the last probably 8 months, ever since my period came back and everything. We have been tracking it, and we do use ovulation predictor strips. We use the test strips, and that has been the best way that has worked for us. So I wanted to kind of explain that to you guys. We buy our strips in bulk, and they just come in packages like this, and there's a ton of them, and you can get them on Amazon or just look it up on the internet, and they are pennies per strip. So this has been the cheapest way that we have found to do it. There are different ways that you can do like body temperature, or you can do saliva tests, you can do the calendar method, counting method, all that kind of stuff, but the ovulation test strips have been the easiest way for us to do everything. So this is one of the strips, and it is easily like marked on the package how to read your test and what to do and all of that. So we use this, and I have a trying to conceive folder that I keep all of my like documentation in. I track my cervical mucus, and also I use the strips. So right now, I am having the same length of periods that I had when we were trying to conceive our first daughter. So that is concerning for me only for the fact that it did take us so long to conceive our first child. So I've been tracking for, again, several months now, and it's a process that is most simply explained is I have a sheet. So I have a sheet where I document everything, and I can actually like tape my strips on there to see where I'm at. And when amp flow comes is the first day of your cycle, and then right now I have a 44 to 45 day cycle. I do not have the typical 28, 30, 32 day cycle. So I ovulate actually later than most people do. If you have a 28-day cycle, you're most likely to ovulate day 14 or 15. Now, if you do not ovulate on day 14 or 15, that is where the strips come in handy, because you can ovulate right after you have your period, you can ovulate in the middle of your cycle, you can ovulate right before you have your period. And so all of that kind of stuff is figured out by tracking the information that you're getting. So, and I usually know when I'm ovulating by my cervical mucus, and usually if I have the egg white consistency, my test strip will be positive. So how we have been avoiding pregnancy is we do not have sex or baby dance or whatever you want to call it during the time of my ovulation, before or after. Usually it's a 6-day window. But everybody is different, and this is just what works for us. So we have been tracking, and so we are going to be trying to conceive for the first time this month. So I am currently on day 7, I do believe. And so we are going to be baby dancing as soon as I get those physical signs and my test strips are positive, and we are going to see how it goes. So how I test for pregnancy, my body personally does not show a positive pregnancy test until I am after the beginning of where my period was supposed to start. So I cannot test early and get a positive pregnancy result. That is how it has been with all 3 of my kids. It has been after my period has been supposed to come that my strip will actually show a positive test. And we just use dollar store little tests. These work amazing. You don't have to buy the expensive ones. These work awesome. And you can also use your ovulation strips. They will also detect pregnancy as well. So these kind of do a double duty, and when I'm checking for pregnancy, I do use my LH strips first, and if I get positive results on my LH test, then I will use the pregnancy test. Because these are pennies per pack, and you can buy pregnancy tests that are in little packs like this also, but we just buy the dollar store ones. And since these are $1 a piece and these are pennies a piece, I do use these first to check for pregnancy. And so hopefully I will be able to take you guys through that process later on this month or at the beginning of February, because again, my cycles are longer. So it is longer in between when we can baby dance and try to conceive, but hopefully it will not be too difficult this time. So if you have any questions or comments about ovulation strips, how I track, pregnancy tests, LH strips, anything like that, please leave a comment below. Otherwise, I will have another video here for you guys in the next few weeks here, letting you know how things are going, where I'm at, and all of that kind of stuff. And I will answer more questions at that time. All right, you all have a great day. Bye, guys.